นะโมตัสสะนะ
โอเคนะโมตัส
นะโม
สะ
ตัส
ภะ
สะ
คะ
ภะ
วะ
คะวะโตอะ
อะ
ระหะ
ระ
โต
หะ
สั
โต
มมา
สัมมาสัมพุทธัส
สัม
สะ
พุทธัสสะนะ
นะ
โม
โม
ตัสสะ
ตัสสะภะคะวะโต
ภะคะวะ
อะ
โต
ระ
อะ
หะโต
ระหะโต สัมมา
สัม
สั
มาม
พุท
สั
ธั
ม
ส
พุ
สะ
ทธัสสะนะโม
นะโม
ตัสสะ
ตัสสะ ภะคะ
ภะ
วะ
คะ
โต
วะโต
อะ
อะ
ระ
ระ
หะ
หะ
โต
โต สัมมา
สั
สั
ม
ม
มา
พุทธัส
สัม
สะ
พุทธัสสะสาธุ
สาธุสาธุสาธุนวุ
สา
ติอุ
ธุ
ปนิธิ
น
พั
วุ
น
ติ
ธะ
ปณิ
อ
ธิ
นุ
พัน
โม
ธะ อนุ
ทา
โมทา
มิ
มิ Okay. Today we are going to talk about path to Sikkha Dhamma. That we will explain the path from outside to Sikkha Dhamma, as we mentioned. First of all, we would like to mention about important notes that we always mention in the beginnings of every class, that Dhamma provided in this presentation is simple and not Kampira or profound. People must continuously study Dhamma, or else it will lead to Mahatapa or Niraya or hell, because it is Micchatitti, or not following the Buddha's teaching. If any provided content contrast with Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, please refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka only. And the responsibility of the four Puttha Parisa, consisting of the first one is for Puttha Parisa must well understand the Tripitaka 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the second one is the four Puttha Parisa must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the last one, the four Puttha Parisa must be able to correct those who condemn or misunderstand the Tripitaka 84,000 Dhammakantaka. So for this class, before we show you the path to Sikkha Dhamma, first of all, we have to know that Manutsa that we see in our daily life, Manutsa are classified into four groups. The first one is Manusa Nirayo, the second one is Manusa Peto, the third one is Manusa Tirachano, and the fourth one is Manusa Tevo. And the difference is that the first three Manusa Nirayo, Manusa Peto, Manusa Tirachano, they are spending their daily life under Sanya Sam, which are consisting of Kama Sanya, Kojara Sanya, Morana Sanya. The way that you're spending your daily life, like wake up, having breakfast, having lunch, having dinner, meeting, work, study, and travel, party, things like this, and etc. Things like this are classified as Sanya 3. Sanya 3 are Kama Sanya, Kojara Sanya, and Morana Sanya. And these three Sanya, or our daily activities, are based on Akusala Kamma Pata 10. And Akusala Kamma Pata 10, actually this one caused by Akusala Chitta 12. That's why it leads to Abhaya Bhumi 4. Therefore, our daily activities without Sikkha Dhamma will lead us to Abhaya Bhumi 4 only. So by waking up, having food, study, work, play sports, etc., leads us to Abhaya Bhumi 4, because they are classified as Sanya 3, Kama Sanya, Kojara Sanya, and Morana Sanya. And the only one conditions that you can escape from Abhaya Bhumi 4 is that you need to transform from Manutsa Nirayo, Manutsa Peto, Manutsa Tirachano into Manutsa Tevo. And Manutsa Tevo different from Manutsa Nirayo, Manutsa Peto, and Manutsa Tirachano by the fourth Sanya. This kind of Manutsa have Sanya, the fourth Sanya, which is called Dhamma Sanya. So Manutsa Tevo, actually this Manutsa has four Sanya. First, like the first three, as Manusa Niro, Manusa Peto, and Manusa Tirachano. Manusa Tevo also have Kama Sanya, Kojara Sanya, and Morana Sanya. But the main difference is Manusa Tevo, this kind of Manusa, has Dhamma Sanya. This make different, completely different, and this Dhamma Sanya will help Manusa Tevo not going to Abaya Bhumi 4, because by Dhamma Sanya or Sikkha Dhamma, Manusa Tevo has Punya Kriyavatu 10, which help transform akusala, which help control akusala kamapata 10 into kusala kamapata 10. Okay, this is the difference. So Manusa Tevo don't have to go to Abaya Bhumi 4. Manusa Tevo we have a chance to go to Manusa 1, Tevo Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, Alupa Brahma 4, and go to attain Arya Pukhala in the future.
Do
Okay?
we have
This
do we have this for manusa in our body?
Yes, actually within ourselves we can switch from Manusa Nirayo, Manusa Peto, Manusa Tirachano to Manusa Tevo, and we can also switch from Manusa Tevo into Manusa Nirayo, Manusa Peto, and Manusa Tirachano also. Depends on our activities. So during our daily activities without Sikkha Dhamma and without knowing the Dhamma that explain our daily activities, we will be Manusa Nirayo, Manusa Peto, and Manusa Tirachano. However, when we Sikkha Dhamma, that is the time when we become Manusa Tevo. And even though we are spending our daily activities in Sanya 3, but with Dhamma in ourselves, we know what Anuttara Samma Sampoti explained about Sanya 3, about our daily activities. And then we have an explanation of the teaching of Gotama Buddha, explain everything that related to our daily activities. That therefore, in that case, our Dhamma Sanya will help our Kama Sanya, Kojara Sanya, Morana Sanya, and transform them and control them and transform them from Kusala Kamapata 10 in Kusala Kamapata 10. By saying that transform from Akusala Kamapata 10 into Kusala Kamapata 10, I mean this kind of process, it transforms within Chavana Chitta, which I will mention later in this class, because when we born as a human, we cannot change from human anymore. We have to since we born as a human, we need to remain as we are required to remain as a human for our whole life until we tutti or died or dead from this body, and then we become we can born in or patisanti in other bhumi. So by saying that Bunyakriya 10 transform Akusala Kamapata 10 into Kusala Kamapata 10, this kind of transformation is transforming inside Chavana Chitta. However, the Dhamma of Gotama Buddha is outside, so we need to gain or receive Dhamma of Gotama Buddha from outside our body and transfer Dhamma through our body and to Chavana Chitta, and that is the part that we are going to discuss about this part today. So
can we close our eye and think about a very good thing that I have passed or I have done in this in today. For today, I think about what I done very good to people like mother, father, or very good to other people. That is kusala or not?
This one is good question, because by feeling happy, normal people, right? Normal people feeling that normal people classify the one that feeling good is as a good deed or kusala, because they feel good, they feel comfortable, and they feel calm. So by doing so, we have to refer back to the teaching of Gotama Buddha. What kind of activities that classify as kusala or akusala? The things that classify as kusala or akusala, it lies lies at the level of citta activities. We have to go back and explain that what kind of citta that activate involved in that kind of feelings. For example, like Tipping mentioned, that when we spend our daily life and we feel happy, we have a good food, we have good house, and we have very good climate that we like, and we feel happy, and that is that classified as kusala. We have to go back to the teaching of Gautama Buddha as mentioned, that the citta that related to that kind of activity or event is kusala citta or akusala citta. So by spending our daily life like that, the things citta that related to that kind of activities is only akusala citta. Akusala citta 12. They are lopa mula citta 8, tosa mula citta 2, and moha mula citta 2. Why I mentioned that those kind of activities that related to akusala citta 12, because only akusala citta, when akusala citta involved in that kind of activities, they are that kind of activities. If you are, even though you are feeling happy, but later on you follow by hate, loath, uncomfortable, things like that. Whenever that kind of feelings follows your happy activities, please be reminded that those happy activities are related to akusala citta 12, because when you can if you can recite akusala citta 12, there are lopa mula citta 8, tosa mula citta 2, and moha mula citta 2. Within lopa mula citta 8, there are 4 of them are somanat sahakatang, and somanat sahakatang can create, can stimulate the feelings of happy for you. And that whenever we feel happy in our daily life under sanya 3, kama sanya, kochara sanya, and mora sanya, therefore that is the result of the activity, the action of the somanat and somanat citta under lopa mula citta 4, lopa mula citta 8, sorry, somanat mula citta 4 under lopa mula citta 8. That, yes, that those 4 are the cause of your happiness in your daily life without Sikkha Dhamma. However, once you Sikkha Dhamma, you also can feel happy when you Sikkha Dhamma, and the more you Sikkha Dhamma, the more you feel happy. However, this kind of happy different from the happy from akusala citta 12, because when you feel happy when you Sikkha Dhamma, in that case, they are not falling by the feelings of hate, loath, uncomfortable, jealous, something like that, etc. Because that kind of happy is the action of somanat, but this one is somanat under mahakusala citta 8. There are somanat citta 4. There are 4 somanat citta under mahakusala citta 8 that can simulate the happiness, but this kind of happiness different from the happiness that you gain by daily activities under sanya 3, because that kind of happiness, the happiness under sanya 3 is caused by somanat lopa mula citta 4 of the total of 8, but only somanat sahakatang only 4 of lopa mula citta 8. Okay, so this happiness is different, even though the communication language, we call it happiness, but this happiness comes from different sources. The one under sanya 3, happiness caused by lopa mula citta 4 out of 8, and for Sikkha Dhamma, the happiness caused by somana citta under mahakusala citta 8, only 4 of somana citta under mahakusala citta 8 that cause happiness in when you Sikkha Dhamma. This is the rough difference from for the beginners.
Okay. Satu.
Okay. Satu. So only way to transform yourself from manusa niryo, manusa peto, manusa tirachano into manusa devo is through Sikkha Dhamma. And as we mentioned that to Sikkha Dhamma, we need to receive the teaching of Gautama Buddha, which stays outside of our body, and transfer from the information of the teaching of Gautama Buddha outside our body, through our body, and into Shavana Citta. And today we are showing that path, roughly of that path for you. That's why we call the path to Sikkha Dhamma today. Okay. As we mentioned, that to transform Yo Manusa Peto Manusa Tirachano into Matevo within Chavana Citta, we need Punya Kriyavatu 10. Punya Kriyavatu 10 is required. And Punya Kriyavatu 10 cannot be created by ourselves. Punya Kriyavatu 10, we need to attain it from the teaching of Gautama Buddha. Therefore, we need to find the correct teaching of Gautama Buddha from the outside. And once we find the correct teaching of Gautama Buddha, then we Sikkha Dhamma, we study it, and we Sikkha Dhamma as we are doing it right now. So this kind of activity classified as Bunya Kriyavatu 10. And Bunya Kriyavatu 10 are consisting of Than, Seen, Bhavana, Apatayana, Vayavaca, Patitan, Patanumotana, Dhamma Sawana, Dhamma Tesana, and Titu Shukam. And these 10, and this Bunya Kriyavatu 10, once this information pass through ourselves and go to Chavana Citta, once they activate, once they arrive at Chavana Citta, they work like this. As I mentioned, that Bunya Kriyavatu 10 help you transform from Manusa Niryo, Manusa Peto, Manusa Tirachano into Manusa Tevo within Chavana Citta. Manusa Tevo, Manusa Tirachano, Manusa Niryo, Manusa Peto, and Manusa Tirachano. These three type of Manusa, they are going to Abhaya Bhumi 4. These three type of Manusa created by ourselves, no Dhamma of Gautama Buddha is needed. Once we created ourselves, and this three type of Manusa will lead us to Abhaya Bhumi 4. And to create these three Manusa, it creates Akusala Kamapata. It creates by Akusala Kamapata 10, as I mentioned. Akusala Kamapata 10 consisting of Pana, Atina, Kame, Musa, Pitsuna Vata, Parusavata, Sampapalapa, Apicha, Pata, Micha, Titi. And these 10 help create Manusa Niryo, Manusa Peto, Manusa Tirachano, which are going to Abhaya Bhumi 4. However, within Chavana Citta, when you received Bunya Kriyavatu 10 from the outside, and then once it arrived at Chavana Citta, it activates and it controls Kusala Kamapata 10 and transform it into Kusala Kamapata 10. Instead of creating your new body in Abhaya Bhumi 4, it transformed from it's control and transformed from Akusala Kamapata 10 into Kusala Kamapata 10. Once Bunya Kriyavatu 10 transform Akusala Kamapata 10 into Kusala Kamapata 10, then you have a chance, you have a new body as a Manusa Niryo, and you can go to be Manutsa 1, Tevapumi 6, Brahmapumi 16, and Arupapumi 4. And also you can attain Ariya Pukala within Chavana Citta. So what it the activation of the control and the transformation of Bunya Kriyavatu 10 is that Sila, the second order of Bunya Kriyavatu 10, control, transform, Pana, Atina, Kame, Musa, Pisuna Vata, Prusavata, and Sampapalapa. These 7 are under the group of Kaya Kamma and Vachi Kamma of Akusala Kamma Patta, and transform into Kusala Kamma Patta here. Once it transform from Pana, from Akusala Kamma Patta into Pana, Tipata, Veramani, Sikkha Patang Samadhiyami under Kusala Kamma Patta. and then transform Atina from Akusala Kammapattha into Atina Thana Veramani Sikkhapathang Samadhiyami, and transform Kame from Akusala Kammapattha into Kame Sumichachara Veramani Sikkhapathang Samadhiyami. And first three we call it as Kaya Kamma. And then Sila also transform Musa from Akusala Kammapattha into Musa Vata Veramani Sikkhapathang Samadhiyami, and also transform Pisuna Vata under Akusala Kammapattha into Pisuna Vata Veramani Sikkhapathang Samadhiyami, and Parusa Vata from Akusala Kammapattha into Parusavata Veramani Sikkhapathang Samadhiyami, and transform Sampapalapa from Akusala Kammapattha into Sampapalapa. There are only one of Punya Kriyavatu 10, which is Sila, can control and transform Akusala Kammapattha 10, 7 out of 10 into Kusala Kammapattha 10. And then only Sila that can only one controls 7 out of Akusala Kammapattha 10. And these 7 are in two groups. The first one is Kaya Kamma, and the second group is Vachi Kamma. So the rest of Punya Kriyavatu 10, the rest 9 of them, which are Than, Pavana, Apajayana, Voyavacha, Patitan, Patanumotana, Dhammasavana, Dhamma Tesana, and Pitushukha. These 9 altogether, they help transform Matno Kamma of Akusala Kammapattha 10 into Kusala Kammapattha 10. They transform Apicca, which under Akusala Kammapattha 10, into Anapicca, and transform Payapatha from Akusala Kammapattha into Apayapatha in Kusala Kammapattha. And the last one, transform Miccha Titti from Akusala Kammapattha into Samma Titti under Kusala Kammapattha. This is the basic activities of Punya Kriyavatu 10. That's why you need to you need to find the teaching of Gautama Buddha and Sikkha Dhamma and transform and transport and receive the information of the teaching of Gautama Buddha from the outside of your body through your body, and send it to Chavana Citta. To once Punya Kriyavatu 10 arrive at Chavana Citta, it's activate, it's perform something like this. So transform from Akusala Kammapattha 10 into Kusala Kammapattha 10. So prevent you from creating new body into a Bhumi 4, but instead create body in Manusa 1 till Bhumi 6, from Bhumi 16, Arupa from Bhumi 4. No.
You mean that for ourselves, if we don't Sikkaya anything, we create Akusala Kammapattha 10 by ourselves, and after we receive Gautama Buddha teaching, we transform our Akusala Kammapattha to Kusala Kammapattha 10 by using Punya Kiriya Vatu 10, which receive it from Gautama Buddha. And then after that, Akusala Kammapattha 10 transformed by Kusala to Kusala Kammapattha 10 by Sikkaya. And after Sikkaya, you will reach to Patang Samadhiyami. That means that you will reach to the Nibbana. Is that right?
Correct. And these kind of activity, they are performing in Chavana Citta, not outside, but in Chavana Citta.
So we cannot see that person is very good. That is Kusala Kammapattha, because Kusala Kammapattha will not go outside, but is only performed in Chavana Citta.
Correct.
Yes,
And
okay.
once it transform, it control and transform from Akusala Kammapattha 10 into Kusala Kammapattha 10, and then the Bhumi that create under Kusala Kammapattha 10, for example, like Manusa 1, Teva Bhumi 6, Brahmapumi 16, Arupa Brahmapumi 4, and then it will become it will lead you toward your next life if you if that kind of body going to be your new patisanti, then it will become your present in the future.
Oh, new life in future life, not this life. Okay,
not
I
this
see.
life. This life has already completed.
Okay.
The next one here. The path to Sikkha Dhamma start from ourselves, and then from ourselves we go a bit deeper into our body system, like blood system, our nerve system, respiration system, digestive system, bone system, and muscle system, something like this, from our body. And then we look at inside into our organs, and then we go through our cell, nucleus, chromosome, and DNA. We go through this one, and then we go further than that. We go from our DNA into chemical compound, and then we still go deeper than that. We go to um, to elements, and then in each element, they're also consisting of atoms. We go to the atomic level, and then we still go further than that into atomic level, and we also go to very, very small particles, which the smallest one that science found today is called quarks. So even the smallest known today by science is quark, but it's still too big comparing to the teaching of Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha still go much more further than that, very, very smaller than that, almost infinite level comparing to quarks, that is the smallest particle that we know today. Even go to the smallest one, then when the small also almost infinite, and then at that level you'll find Vinipokharupa 8 and Shivitarupa 1. However, before you reach this level of Vinipokharupa 8, you need to pass through Tevapumi 6, Brahmapumi 16, and then you have a chance to arrive at Vinipokharupa 8 and Shivitarupa 1. However, actually, this level of detail need the enlightenment of Gautama Buddha. Without the enlightenment of Gautama Buddha, knowledge at this level cannot be attained. This level of knowledge will be revealed only if there are the enlightenment of Gautama Buddha. Without the enlightenment of Gautama Buddha, this level of knowledge will be forbidden to will not be revealed. Okay, nobody knows that. Only Gautama Buddha, only Buddha only. And when I said about Vinipokharupa 8, Vinipokharupa 8 consisting of Pathvi Mahaputarupa, Apo Mahaputarupa, Tesho Mahaputarupa, Vayo Mahaputarupa, and Rupa Visaya Rupa, Kantha Visaya Rupa, Rasa Visaya Rupa, and Ahara Rupa. These are Vinipokharupa 8. And once we are living creatures, so we are not having only Vinipokharupa 8. We also have Shivitarupa 1 attached with Vinipokharupa 8. And altogether, these 9 components, we call it Navarupa 9. And whenever we have Shivitarupa 1, it always have Shivita Nama coming with Shivitarupa 1. Always, these two always come together. Whenever you have Shivitarupa 1, it also have you also have Shivita Nama and Chivita Nama equals Chivita Cetasika. And Chivita Cetasika, if you can recite Cetasika, you know that Chivita Cetasika is one of 7 Cetasika under Sappajita Satharana Cetasika 7. Sappajita Satharana Cetasika 7, they are consisting of Phassa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika, Sanya Cetasika, Chetana Cetasika, Ekakhata Cetasika, Chivita Cetasika, and Manasikara Cetasika. Once you see Chivita Cetasika, and these under Chivita Cetasika are staying in Sappajita Satharana Cetasika, whenever they go, whenever one of the member of this group goes, the rest will go with them. So in this case, Chivita Cetasika appears at this attached to Chivita Rupa because it's also Chivita Nama. When it has Chivita Cetasika working with Chivita Rupa and Avinipoka Rupa, also the rest of the group stays with Chivita Cetasika. So the information that pass through our body, our organs, DNA, chemical compounds, elements, atom, molecule, and still quarks and infinite, smallest in infinite level. And then when it reach the information reach at this level, it will receive from Phassa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika. Once Phassa Cetasika received information, then Phassa Cetasika will pass through to Vedana Cetasika and Sanya Cetasika, Chetana Cetasika, Ekakhata Cetasika, Chivita Cetasika, and Manasika Cetasika. And then from this stage, this Cetasika will send information to Chamanajita, to the process that about to enter Chamanajita.
Back to the previous slide. Okay, can we conclude again about this, that for everything everything will have a Vinipoka Rupa egg, everything, no? Such as home, for the air, for the tree, or anything will have a Vinipoka Rupa egg, and we still have a Vinipoka Rupa egg. But the difference between life and alive things is Chivita Rupa.
Okay, correct, Piping. In our daily life, we see we have have activities with living creatures, animals and human, and also an object. And whether that is living creatures or objects, these two things, they have Vinipoka Rupa 8. However, only living things, living creatures like human, animals, things like that, those kind of things, those kind of creatures or living creatures have Chivita Rupa attached to a Vinipoka Rupa 8. Otherwise, if those are the objects, they don't have Chivita Rupa 8, 1 attached to a Vinipoka Rupa 8. However, they have only a Vinipoka Rupa 8. Just for beginner.
For Tevata have Chivita Rupa or not?
Tevata is one of Sattva Rupa 8, as we mentioned.
Yeah. So only
so please remind that we are explaining things very, very small.
Okay. Only object that have a Vinipoka Rupa 8, but alive thing have Chivita Rupa 1 and also have Chivita Cetasika, but compile with composed with Sappajita Satharana Cetasika 7-2. Okay, like this. Okay,
yes. And when we mention about Sappajita Satharana Cetasika 7 and Cetasika, this will receive information and help us transfer information from the outside into the process to Chavana Chitta. Chavana Chitta is here. And when it's Sapajita Sarate Sikkha 7, they receive information from, as we explained earlier, it's sent through Panchatavara Vasana Chitta. And after Panchatavara Vasana Chitta, there are two groups of Chitta. This for easy understanding only. The first one is Akusala Vipaka Chitta 7. If in case you can recite Chitta, you know what they are. And Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chitta 8. And for if the information they received and passed through Panchatavara Vasana Chitta, if it's a Kusala one, or it received from our daily activities without the teaching of Gotama Buddha, and then that kind of information is Akusala Chitta, and then sent to Akusala Vipaka Chitta 7 that's passed through Manotavara Vasana Chitta. And when it arrives at Manotavara Vasana Chitta, it goes to Sangvekha, to Abhaya Bhumi 4, and then sent to Hasudapata Chitta, and then created your new life as Abhaya Bhumi 4. And when you are Manusa Tevo and you Sikkha Dhamma and listen to the teaching of Gotama Buddha, when the information pass through Panchatavara Vasana Chitta, when the information arrive at Panchatavara Vasana Chitta, Panchatavara Vasana Chitta will send it as Kusala 1. So send through this one, Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chitta 8. And then go to Manotavara Vasana Chitta. At this point, there is special Cetasika from Somana Santi Rana Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chitta, which called Piti Cetasika, that help prevent Viriya Cetasika from here to Sangvekha or Abhaya Bhumi 4. However, they Piti Cetasika from Somana Santi Rana Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chitta will control control Viriya Cetasika into Viriya Chitta and then when Viriya Cetasika transformed into Viriya Chitta and go to Hasitupata Chitta, at that time the information will send to Kamavajara Mahakriya Chitta 8, and then it will be go to Kamavajara Mahakusala Chitta 8. And for the Akusala Chitta parts that come with it, go to Akusala Chitta 12. And these two components create your new body. Like you can be Manusa 1, Jovabhumi 6, Brahmabhumi 16, Rupa Brahmabhumi 4, something like that. I speak in general for the Kusala part that come with it. But for the Akusala part that come with it, that's sent to Akusala Chitta 12. In that case, it create Abhaya Bhumi 4 for you. However, it's better than not Sikkha Dhamma, because when you are not Sikkha Dhamma, you go through Akusala Vipaka Chitta, and all of those information are Akusala Chitta only, are Akusala only. So when it arrived in Chavana Chitta, once it's sent to Kamavajara Mahakriya Chitta 8, you'd have no Kusala at all. So all of the information sent to Akusala Chitta 12 and create a Abhaya Bhumi 4 for you. However, when we Sikkha Dhamma, not all of the information that we received are Kusala. Only some part that we know and some part we don't know, still Akusala 1. However, that kind of information combined consists of two parts. The first is a Kusala part and Kusala part. The more we know about the Dhamma, the more Kusala part we have, and the less Akusala part we have. So in that case, that I mentioned, that once that kind of information passed through Chavana Chitta, it will be classified the Kusala and Akusala 1 at Kamavajara Mahakriya Chitta 8. For Kusala part, it will send and create Manusa Bhumi 1, Jovabhumi 6, something like that. And for our Kusala 1, it sends and create Abhaya Bhumi 4 for you. Okay ครับพี่
for this slide you mean no only that for this slide you mean that in the blue one is Chawana Citta, and outside Chawana Citta we have about 17 no 17 Citta, that is Ahetuka Citta, it's outside Chawana Citta, is that right? And only one Hasitupatha Citta, that is in Chawana Citta. Then for the Pancha Tawara Vachana Citta is the first gate that receive from outside, and first gate that receive, and then Pancha Tawara Vachana Citta separate two parts. One part is Akusala Citta, and another part is Ahetuka Citta, and then go to the second gate, that is Mano Tawara Vachana Citta. So the first gate is the Pathom Vithi, that is the first gate. Then Mano Tawara Vachana Citta is the second gate, and then you go inside the Hasitupatha Citta, that is in Chawana Citta. Okay, by going from that two gate, we use Viriya Cetasika in order to go inside. And then you mention about Somana Santirana, that is very good Citta that bring us to go inside Chawana Citta, part to Mano Tawara Vachana Citta, because this Citta has Piti Cetasika. So for the first gate, that Pancha Tawara Vachana Citta is only 10 that work with 10 Cetasika, and then Mano Tawara Vachana Citta is 11 Cetasika that compose about Viriya Cetasika, another one more. And when you go to Hasitupatha Citta, you have another one that is Piti Cetasika. Okay.
Altogether 12 Cetasika that work with Hasitupatha Citta. They are Phasa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika, Sanya Cetasika, Chetana Cetasika, Ekakata Cetasika, Chivita Cetasika, Manasika Cetasika, Vitaka Cetasika, Vichara Cetasika, Atimoka Cetasika, Viriya Cetasika, and Piti Cetasika. Altogether
so composed
12.
of 12. Okay. Then we go inside Chawana Citta, that is outside, and for our body is another part that is very big comparing with Chawana Citta that we Sikkha. So what is Dhamma teaching is not what we see, because what we see is only scientists can solve. That is very big comparing to Dhamma. We have to use about infinity times that small, then go into the deepest things for Dhamma is Chawana Citta.
Correct.
In this slide, okay.
Correct. And as Pipi mentioned about that the things that science found, the biggest one and the smallest one, even the biggest one like universe, even the smallest one like quarks, still too big comparing to the elements that mentioned by mentioned by Gautama Buddha. So therefore, we need to go through, as we mentioned, we need to go through our body and go to the smallest part. We know today, known by science today, is quarks and infinite level smaller, and then we arrive at Avanipokarupa 8, and then as this level, we start to see the components that the Gautama Buddha mentioned about them, and then from here to here, from here, from the smallest level, here will be the beginning of the teaching of the components that teach by Gautama Buddha, and from this components go through this part until arrive in Chavanajita, and the action and also all activities that active at works in Chavanajita. These are all the teaching of Gautama Buddha, and these are all the elements that help you develop from Manusaniyo into Manusatevo, and then to develop yourself, to actually what I say, to help us from human, and then we can improve ourselves from our daily our body, as you see right now, into attaining Arya Bukkala within Chavanajita. So
okay, for our thinking is where is our thinking? Where is our thinking?
Our thinking, for the beginner, for easy understanding, your thinking is here in this level. Not even
only that level.
Not even close to this level. Yes, only this level, because your thinking is created by your it's received information within this level. It's not yet arrived at this level.
Thinking is rupa.
Rupa, yes. The result of the rupa.
Is this not
result
nama?
Of the rupa?
Yep. Is this
no,
not nama? Yep.
When you see nama within this part, the first level that close to nama is here. Manotavara Vasana Chitta, almost enter Chavana Chitta is here. So you can see that I omit a lot of level here, almost infinite level. This one infinite level, and from this level to this part, still a lot of process that omitted from this slide. And then when you arrive here at Manotavara Vasana Chitta, at this level, you have two type of information. The first one is rupa, and the second one is nama. And the information at this level is consisting of atita, pachupanna, and anakhata, three parts, or the past, present, and the future. The information at this level as Panchatavara Vasana Chitta, information at this point, it is rupa, and rupa at this level is consisting of pachupanna, not it don't have anything related to the atita and no anakhata, only at Manotavara Vasana, and only at Manotavara Vasana Chitta that they have to, at this point, it have two type of information, rupa and nama, and and also it contains information from atita, pachupanna, and anakhata at this one. These 2 points have different information and different time frame.
And for the last one is Chakku Sota, Kaya, Kana Shilha is not Chakku Sota. It's not eye, it's not ear that we think at the first time.
Correct, because your eyes, your ear is over here. And Chakku Sota Kana Shilha Kaya that received information, actually received information is something here, somewhere here. Okay. So very, very small, infinite level until you arrive at this this action, this component.
So everything that Dhamma is very, very deepest. It is not our thinking. So we cannot know, we cannot think by ourselves. We have to Sikkha only. Because
correct.
Not have if we don't have enlightenment from Gautama Buddha, we cannot know anything.
Correct, because if the enlightenment, if Gautama Buddha is not enlightened, we know only this one, only this part known by science. The rest of that the rest of this chart will be disappeared. We cannot know things like this. Things like this, the rest of the chart, except from the signs that we know today, need the alignment of Gautama Buddha to be revealed. Without the enlightenment of Gautama Buddha, the rest of the chart cannot be shown.
Oh, where is our result? Where is our cause? Can you point where is cause? Where is result in this picture?
Okay. In this picture, the part that create your next life is here in Chavana Chitta. And the results that once your next life that create in Chavana Chitta is sent out to actually create you in your next life, which is your present life here.
Yep.
Your present life that created by the past activity of Shavana Chitta sent out in and become our present life, and our present life, which is the result of the past activity of Shavana Chitta, is here. Is here.
So
here.
Our self
the
now
one
is product of our ex life,
of the past
life.
Yes.
Okay.
Of the past activity of Shavana Chitta.
Okay.
Is our present life, and our present the present activity of Shavana Chitta will go to your next life.
Everything that in Shavana Chitta create will be go to for our next life. Cannot create this life, isn't it?
Yes. Whatever working in Shavana Chitta, I cannot in general cannot change our existing here. However, when we Sikkha Dhamma, the things in Chitta and the process within Shavana Chitta can be changed by the teaching of Gautama Buddha. And that's why we can attain Ariya Pukkala within Shavana Chitta. Not outside one, but inside Shavana Chitta. That's where we attain Ariya Pukkala within Shavana Chitta, not the outside one.
Okay.
Okay. So we would like to mention a bit about, we mentioned a lot about Shavana Chitta today. So we explain a bit more that we know that Chitta has 121 Chitta. However, not all of 121 Chitta that are staying in Shavana Chitta. Only some part of Chitta 121 that stays in Shavana Chitta. They are divided into two main groups. The first one we call this Kam Shavana Chitta. At this one they have 29 components, 29 Chitta, and Appana Shavana Chitta they have 58 Chitta that working with this one. The side might be a bit miscolor. That's okay. I explain it later on. Kamavachara Chitta 29, consisting of Akusala Chitta 12 and one of Ahetuka Kriya Chitta, which is Somana Sasakatang Hasitupatha Chittang Asankharikang Kamavachara Ahetuka Kriya Chitta, and Kamavachara Mahakusala Chitta 8. These altogether 29 are called as Kamavachara, Kam Shavana Chitta. And Appanashwana Chitta 58. They are consisting of Rupavachara Maha Kusala Chitta 5 and Arupavachara Maha Kusala Chitta 4, and also Lokuttara Chitta 40. Lokuttara Makha Chitta 20 and Lokuttara Phala Chitta 20. Altogether 58.
Okay, for this you mean that?
Sorry, a bit more. Rupavachara Mahakriya Chitta 5 and Arupavachara Mahakriya Chitta 4 2. So altogether 58. I miscolor in the slide. I'll correct it later on. Oh, actually 58. And then go back. Oh, okay. This is the correct one.
Yes.
All right. This is the correct one. This part, this group, they are Kam Chavana Chitta, 29. And this group, Apana Chavana Chitta, 58. Okay, 58.
You mean that this two group out of 121 is in the blue color for the อะไรนะ previous
Kam
slide
Chavana Chitta, Kam
and
Chavana Chitta,
อัปปนา
and
ชวนา
Apana
จิตตะ
Chavana Chitta.
is in the previous slide
Green
is
one,
no
the green one.
to the
Yeah,
previous
this one,
slide previous another
Previous.
slide back to
This
yes is in the ชวนาจิตตะ that two
one?
part
Correct.
okay กามชวนาจิตตะ is in this slide for and อัปปนาชวนาจิตตะ is in this slide in ชวนาจิตตะ okay
Correct.
okay and กามชวนาจิตตะ have 29 and อัปปนาชวนาจิตตะ have 58
58.
it is a subset of จิตตะ 121
Correct.
yeah
Okay. And not all of Chitta in Chavana Chitta that creates that are Kama Chitta. Kama Chitta, for easy understanding, is the Chitta that will create the next life for you. Okay, not all of Chitta that stays in Chavana Chitta that creates your next life. Only 29. Only 29 are called Kama Chitta. 29.
29
which are Akusala Chitta 12, Kama Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 8, Rupa Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 5, and Arupa Vachara Mahachitta 4 that create your next life, or we call them Kama Chitta 29.
next lupa
Next
lupa
next life. Maybe because actually because Arupa Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 4 create
no lupa
Arupa, no Rupa.
yes
So, when
20 chitta for the us like the who create the rupa.
Correct, because the 20 is in Kama Vajon.
yes
12
25
Akusala Chitta 12 and Kama Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 8. The one that Sankiti mentioned is only in Kama Vajon here.
Yeah.
Kama Vachara Akusala Chitta 12 and Mahakusala Chitta 8 that create next life or called Kama Chitta, but this 20 in Kama Vajon. The rest of them, not the rest 9, Rupa Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 5 and Arupa Vachara Mahakusala Chitta 4. These two are classified in Apana Chavana.
yes
in Brahma and Arupa Brahma Bhumi.
Brahma Bhumi and Arupa Bhumi. Yep.
And when those Kama Chitta, when they create our next life, they send information to Patisanti Pavanka and Chuti Chitta. Only 19 Chitta that receive information from those Kama Chitta. This for easy understanding. And this Patisanti Pavanka and Chuti Chitta 19, they stays outside of Shamana Chitta. So they receive the information that has already been analyzed and create has already been summarized by Chitta within Chavana Chitta and send the results to them to create our next life. So for Akusala Chitta 12, they send information to one of Akusala Chitta 7, which called Ubekasha Katang Santi Rana Chittang Asankharikang Kama Vachara Akusala Vipaka Chittang. And for Kama Vachara Maha Kusala Chitta 8, they send information into two Chitta. Depends on the level of Kusala, or at this point, at this junction, we call it Oma Komaka Oma Kukata. Depends on how much Kusala you have. The more Kusala you have, it will send to Kama Vachara Mahavipaka Chitta 8. to create your next life. However, if the kusala that you perform cannot be reached, cannot reach kama vajra mahavipaka citta 8 level, it will go back to ahetuka kusala vipaka citta 8. One of ahetuka kusala vipaka citta 8. Citta at this under this group we call it upekha sakatang santirana cittang asankharikang kama vajra ahetuka kusala vipaka citta. And for rupa vajra maha kusala citta 5, you'll send information to rupa vajra maha vipaka citta 5 and arupa vajra maha kusala vipaka citta. Arupa vajra maha kusala citta 4 send information to arupa vajra maha vipaka citta 4. And this altogether 19 citta. Their name is Patisanti, Pawanka, and Jutti citta 19. Okay. And this show each Patisanti citta leads you to which bhumi. For upekha sakatang santirana cittang asankharikang kama vajra akusala vipaka cittang send you to apaya bhumi 4. And upekha sakatang santirana cittang asankharikang kama vajra ahetuka kusala vipaka cittang send you to manusa bhumi 1 and teva bhumi 1. Teva bhumi 1 is called jatu maharashika bhumi. And then kama vajra mahavipaka citta 8 sent to teva bhumi 5 except kama jatu maharashika bhumi. And rupa vajra mahavipaka citta 5 sent to Brahma Bhumi 16 and Arupa Vajra Mahavipaka Citta 4 sent to Arupa Vajra Brahma Bhumi 4. Altogether 31 Bhumi. In general, in the big picture for the beginners, the easy one is Citta. When Citta interact with Cetasika, they create Rupa. And within this Rupa, they create everything in our lives, classified into 4 main groups. The first one called Kamacharupa 18, or our body. Chittacharupa 15, or our mind. Utucharupa 13, or our environment. And Aharacharupa 12, or we call it our food, things like this. When in our every of our life consisting of 4 main groups. The first one is Kamashrupa, the second one is Chittashrupa, the third one is Utucharupa, and the last one is Aharashrupa, or for easy understanding, says your body, your mind, your environment, and your food.
Okay, for this point, you mean that all four parts, Kamacharupa 18, Chittacharupa 15, Utucharupa 13, and Ahancharupa 12 is come from our past life that create everything from Chavana Citta, from our past life, and then create for this life.
Yes, correct, Piping. Our existing today, our personal life created from our past, and our past the activities that perform in Chavana Citta. And before we born as a human today, when it works in Chavana, under construction of our new life within Chavana Citta, it contains Rupa Samudrathan. Rupa Samudrathan contains four components, which are Kamashrupa 18, Chittashrupa 15, and Utushrupa 13, and Aharashrupa 12, as we shown in this picture. Okay. So therefore, when we born as a human, we have our body, we have our mind as a human, we have our environment for human to be able to live, and we also have our food for our human body. So this is the main components that create within Chavana Citta before we born as a
Okay, this four part is called Rupa Samuttatthana.
Correct สาธุครับพี่ปิง
Okay ค่ะ
Next one, this show the components we call Kamashrupa, Chittashrupa, Utushrupa, Aharashrupa. All four actually they have the common components, nine common components. The first 8 is Avinipokarupa 8, as we mentioned in the beginning of the class. Avinipokarupa 8 consisting of Patvi Mahaputarupa, Apo Mahaputarupa, Tesho Mahaputarupa, Vayo Mahaputarupa, Rupa Visayarupa, Kanta Visayarupa, Rasa Visayarupa, and Ahararupa. This is the basic building blocks of everything. And then additional one, Parishetarupa. And for Kamashrupa 18, they have special 9, and we call genuine Kamashrupa because these components only exist in Kamashrupa. There are Pasatarupa 5, Pavarupa 2, Hatayurupa 1, and Chivitarupa 1. And for Chittashrupa 15, apart from 9 that I mentioned that they have in common, that Chittashrupa have special one is Vinyati Rupa 2, and Sattharupa 1, and Vikarupa 3. Utushrupa 13, apart from the 9 in common, they have Sattharupa 1 and Vikarupa 3. And Aharashrupa, apart from the common 9, they have Vikarupa 3. Okay. There are 4 types of birth in 31 Bhumi, which are Antacha Kamner, Sangsetascha Kamner, Chalapucha Kamner, and Opapatika Kamner. 4 types. Okay. In this slide, in this class today, we also mentioned about the 8 things. Sorry. The first one is 4 types of Manutsa. Manutsa Peto, Manutsa Nirayo, Manutsa Tirachanu, and Manutsa Tevo. And we also mentioned about Bunya Kriyavatu 10, Tan, Sin, Pavana, Apajayana, Vaya, Vacha, Patitan, Patanumotana, Dhamma Savana, Dhamma Tesana, Techushukam. And we also mentioned about the path to Sikkha Dhamma, starting from ourselves and deep into details and very profound into infinite level, and then you'll reach the level of the Dhamma that enlightened, that teaching by Gautama Buddha. And then we also mentioned about Citta and Chavana Citta, that classify into 2 main groups. The first one is Kam Chavana Citta, and the second group is Apana Chavana Citta. And we also mentioned that Kamma Citta, 29, that creates your next life. And also the Citta that received information from Kamma Citta and create your next life, which they are called Patisanti, Pavanka, and Chutti Citta, 19. There are 19 Citta altogether. And we also mentioned about Rupa Samuttatthana, as Piping mentioned the name, that Rupa Samuttatthana consisting of Kamashrupa, Chittashrupa, Utushrupa, and Aharashrupa. And the last one we also mentioned 4 types of birth. So that will be all of things that we cover in this class. Do you have any question? Okay, if there is no question, so that will be end of the class. Okay, ครับ สาธุครับ